Okay, Frank, give us your full name and the name of your show, please.
Frank Ramsey. The name of the show is What's the Alternative?
And what's it about?
It's about a small alternative medical practice in London, run by me. And I'm really struggling, I'm down on my knees here. I've got a couple of clients and bills up to the, and it's all going to pot. But then, out of nowhere, I get an email from the BBC who are looking for a small alternative practice to be part of their bigger documentary on alternative health. And I clutch this with both hands. I go straight to the bank and I get myself a loan. I employ a secretary. And when the cameras arrive, we're ready to roll. So the show basically is going to take you around and show you the practice and the couple of clients we've got and how we're going to make it, because now that I've got the secretary by my side, I am invincible. And we will make it, or won't we? That's for you to find out. Thanks.
Cool. And how long have you been working on?
We've been working on the project for... that's a very good question. But I think about 2014 it was conceived here, actually. I remember having the idea, and I phoned my then girlfriend, now wife, and discussed it with her, and we basically came up with the idea. And it was, So 2014, so that's 5 years ago. So we've been working on it for
Sure, and what characters do you have?
Well, I play myself, and my wife plays Miss Clark, who is the secretary. You'll notice the word clerk, of course, is the ancient word for a secretary. Anyway, so we also have the landlord, who is a short Asian man, who's a Liverpool fan and very laid-back character, who allows me to use his flat to do acupuncture, and basically I just commandeer the whole place because he's hardly ever there. So we've also got a gentleman called Clive, who's an elderly gentleman, who comes to the practice to see me, and he is a lonely man. His wife passed away, but he loves to come for treatment, and he always tells people it works, And then we have Mr. Om, who is our IT specialist, and you'll get to find out more about him in episode 2. We have a biker called, I forget his name now, but he's like a Hell's Angel, and he's got a bad shoulder. So he's always fixing his bike, and he comes to the practice for acupuncture on his shoulder. Yes, there's lots of other characters in the pipe work.
And could you give us you've done a lot of filming, what kind of things have you filmed so far? We
filmed a breakdown scene, which is episode 3, actually, which comes midway into the first season, where it all gets a bit much for me. That was... we filmed that scene. We've also filmed Ninja Psychosis, which is season 2. And that's basically where we're headed to season 2, where I have a mental breakdown. I mean, in the first season I have a breakdown. In the second season it's a mental breakdown. So it's a bit more extreme, and we want to play around with the ideas of psychosis and spirituality, what's real and what's not real. Really suck the audience into this, what we see as very important now in society, with all the mental health issues that we have that are abounding. What is really going on? Are we at maybe a pivotal change time in our culture? So we want to tap into that, but we filmed that. So those two things stand out in my mind.
What kind of influences do you have? What started your whole kind of entertainment interest off?
I guess watched a lot of some of mockumentary comedies, and one particular would be Chris Lilly, the Australian comedian. Both myself and my wife, we really enjoyed watching his stuff, and it kind of made us think, well, maybe we could do this too.
And to see Enter the Dragon there.
Yeah, this is Enter the Dragon, that's right. This is a photograph as journey. So the guy who did all the photos on the film, this is all his original footage. There's only 10 of these books in the world, by the way. So, these are all the pictures from Enter the Dragon. Yeah, and it was a present from Suzanne. That's my wife, and she gave it to me.
Because ever since I've known you, since you were 7, you've always had a calling to the East, and you always like comedy because there's elements of comedy, and you've got doing a bit of stand-up in your show.
Yeah.
He's a very varied. You're a musician.
Oh, thank you.
Got a varied
Yeah.
kind of take on things and varied skills that, because you're an acupuncturist and alternative healer in your day job,
Yes.
and then your other job is doing this.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah.
And
It's kind of evolved, Adam. You know, as you know, being my friend.
yeah,
And I guess I always had a focus of wanting to have some sort of, you know, a job and a career, and I always wanted to be an acupuncturist or something to do with my interest in martial arts and that.
Yeah.
But the road was, you know, very difficult, and through the pain comes the comedy, and you know, the ability to laugh at your own struggles.
yeah,
And then you think, or God says, hang on, you can use this.
yeah.
You know, I've given you this, son, for a reason. Yeah, a reason for this.
And you love Rocky as well.
I do love Rocky. Yeah,
There's elements of that.
there's elements of it, and we want him to appear in season 2. Rocky is going to be working for the security firm at Energy Healing. So hopefully we'll get him or somebody like him.
And talk us through what you're talking about, the credit card and the money and the scene that we were just discussing. You know
The store card, you mean?
Yeah.
You mean the store card? Oh yeah, that was just a bit I was thinking about in terms of comedy. But
there's a scene, isn't there? But
I'm not sure at the moment how we're going to fit that in. Actually, yeah. There's lots. We've still got lots of ideas that we need to kind of nail down.
You get it.
And we do a lot of writing. What is that Friday is what's the alternative day in our house, which means that even if you just do an hour, even if you're out all day, you're called to A&E to see your mum's in hospital, have what's the alternative in your brain, so that you always do that, and then you give something to it. The best case scenario, you sit and write all day, or you sit and film all day.
it's like a rolling project.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly right.
And like when everything goes flat, you can just pick up your pen or just think about what's next.
Exactly. That's what I say. Like even if it's 5 minutes on a Friday. So tomorrow is Friday, and fortuitously, we're going to film some more for the show. We've got Adam who's doing the interview now. He's very kindly agreed to film it, and then we've got Richard, another friend who's gonna do some filming with me, and we're gonna focus it on this Enter the Dragon. We can't give you too much, but there's a
And the end game is global distribution of.
What's the alternative?
Well, there isn't one.
This is it.
This is.
Or maybe there is. Yeah, it's a beautiful title. It was Suzanne who came up with the title. I'll put that out now. It was her idea, that title. And,
very marketable title.
I think it is. I think it's a brilliant idea title.
You've got to keep going. Got to keep pushing.
We've got to keep going. Yeah,
Keep
thank you.
chipping away.
Exactly right. You know, it's going to come. It's going to come.